So I guess it was a mixture of kind of operational kind of challenges, and kind of there was a financial element to all of that as well. So kind of operationally, of course, the obvious thing was that we weren't able to kind of maintain our training schedule. And that actually was particularly difficult for us as a club that supports children with disabilities and health conditions, because actually we're a club that tends to run pretty much throughout the year, not just in the season time, because we recognise that the continuity and the routine is really important for our players. So kind of having to manage the expectations of those players and their parents was a particular kind of challenge for us, and we had to be kind of really clear in our communications about what we could and couldn't do. And I think, trying to think creatively about how you would run training sessions as well, right? So in the first instance, I think when we first returned to training, there was kind of still a thing about try and maintain some kind of distance as well. And so thinking about how you can do activities that are different but still engaging for the children is kind of all part of that challenge as well. Financially, there was an impact. I guess it was twofold. So one of those impacts was the fact that we were kind of very aware that we hadn't given the players and their parents the service that they had paid for at the start of the season in good faith. So obviously we would charge our subscription fees, and they would expect weekly training and tournaments in exchange for that. And in many cases, of course, that just simply wasn't possible. So what that kind of meant was we were looking at ways where we could kind of subsidise the next year's subscription fees and kind of give them the money back almost, if you like, for the service that they hadn't received previously. So these were all things that we were trying to manage. And of course there were, I guess it's worth saying, some just additional kind of requirements on the club, and those carried expenditure as well. So like making sure that we always had anti-bac wipes available so that we could wipe things down after use, making sure that we had hand sanitizer so that people could keep safe that way as well, all carried additional kind of costs and had a planning requirement as well for us. Well, I mean, it's quite hard to quantify this, because to some extent it kind of depends on how much you want to do as a club, and how kind of advanced you want to be in your offering almost. But I mean, genuinely, I think it's not unreasonable to say running a small football club, and ours is a modest and relatively small club, you're still talking tens of thousands of pounds. Pitch fees are, of course, they're expensive. They are a commodity that's in really high demand, and actually so negotiation on pitch fees, for example, is a very difficult thing, because actually the answer is if we don't want it, somebody else just takes it. So there's a lot going on there. Obviously, kits, equipment are all really, really expensive things as well. Doing things properly, so affiliating to your local football association, making sure you've got the right insurances, etc. So yeah, I mean, I think for us it does run into kind of the tens of thousands. We are very lucky in that we have people who do support the club, and we've had donations and we've had good parental input as well, and so we are kind of in a position where we've got nice equipment and nice kit, but doing it well is a significant financial undertaking. I mean, so we've done all sorts of things really. So I mean, the main funding stream, of course, is the annual subscription fees that our parents pay for their players to join. We've done kind of open day events as well, as a way to kind of engage people. So within that, we might do things like run a barbecue where we kind of can sell food and make a little bit of profit from that. We've had games, like the spot the ball competition, or raffles where kind of members or committee members of the club have donated prizes for people to win. And it's all just kind of little things like that really that we kind of do over time. The other thing that we've done is work kind of with local kind of businesses and supporters who kind of want to help the club because of what we're trying to achieve. And we've been really lucky in so much as we've had some good donations from people who want to make sure that we've got the best equipment. We're very lucky in so much as we have a really engaged, proactive parent group who really support the club and what we're doing, and are kind of really happy to kind of help us. So I think a kind of a draw that kind of focuses lots of the prize money back to the club is is absolutely something I think that they would support. But of course, there's a fun element to it as well, right? That, you know, kind of having a few little prizes kind of just helps to generate. So, but I don't think they see it as a kind of a way to make money or anything like that. So that's probably is something that we could explore. Well, actually, I think we would explore for our next draw. Like creating a win-win scenario, right? That's which is brilliant, because I mean, there's absolutely no harm. I mean, us making money through a scenario where somebody else benefits as well is as brilliant. It's as valid a route to funding as anything else. So, I mean, promoting the draw was super easy for us. So we used all of our social media platforms. So Facebook being the main one, which was great because all of the parents of the children are obviously kind of linked into that. But also we have some kind of followers and supporters of the club who get to see that as well. So that was really helpful. We also used our WhatsApp groups. We have 3 WhatsApp groups that we were promoting the draw through. So one was for our younger team, that's kind of under 12s as a maximum age, and then we've got an under 18s team as well. We've also got an adults group as well who train, and so we were promoting for all of them, and they're all, you know, again, different lists of people. The tools that we use, so you guys provided us with some excellent media, which we basically just copied. So we used kind of like the graphics that you provided. Where we found that particularly helpful was towards the end of the draw. So they were kind of set up really nicely to kind of advertise the fact that the draw was closing and that it was people's last chance to take part. And actually, we found we got a really good response on that on the last day of the draw, just before it was due to close, by putting that onto our social media and getting people to engage in it. I mean, one of the challenges, I think, going back to kind of linking this point with the kind of the COVID-19 thing, it's one of the things I think I am personally really conscious of on behalf of the club, is the fact that I think some of our parents will be experiencing, you know, financial challenges at the moment, right? I mean, this is a difficult financial time for lots of people for lots of different reasons. And in the first instance, it was all about a pandemic, and now it's about a pandemic and some other stuff. So we are definitely, you know, there is definitely something really important for us about balancing the kind of the fundraising activity of the club with the kind of what is a parent able to what is it reasonable to ask of our parent base as well. So for us, the money will be really important, because we are really mindful of the fact that football should be a game that everybody can play and enjoy, and we've never as a club wanted to be anything other than totally inclusive, and we've never wanted to think that money or financial kind of input would be a barrier to football. So for us, the purpose of fundraising was just to put us in a financial position that would allow us to offer football at an affordable rate. So it meant that we didn't have to raise our fees in a world where lots of other costs are increasing. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it just feels like a win-win situation for both, you know, the clubs and the people who engage in it kind of as supporters of the club. So it's a really easy way to engage. So, you know, you don't have to go around holding, you know, money tins like you did in the past. You don't have to demand a response from people in the kind of the immediacy. It's something that can be put in front of people and they can interact with on their own terms. And I think that's actually a really powerful tool for people, because personally, I feel like I would be more inclined to engage with something that I could look at, understand, and then kind of make a decision about. And so I think digital works really well because it gives people time and space to make decisions. You know, giving to good causes, and I of course think the East Surrey Hawks is one of the best causes that you can give to. It's a really personal choice that you make. And look, we'd all love to give to all of the charities that we get asked to give to on a daily basis. By nature, none of them are bad things. But the reality is, of course, that we can't actually make a donation to everything that we're asked to support. So people have to be given a little bit of space to kind of go away and choose which are the ones that are most important to them.